Returning to our top story about the South Korean ferry disaster. To discuss the incident, we're joined on the phone from Dubai by marine salvage expert Captain Zarir Irani. Captain Zarir Irani, what do you make of the rescue efforts so far?
Well, they're doing what they can, Kim, frankly. There are so many of them, ports and rescues and salvage masters. They've got a heavy lift crane out there as well. And unfortunately, moving the boat would mean they would disturb those air pockets, and whatever hope of life is there would then be diminished.
So you're saying, sorry, you're saying that they can't move the boat because that might disturb any air pockets. Do you hold out any hope that people could still be alive in air pockets?
Well, if you ask me, wearing a salvage and rescue person hat, I would say that I would not give up until I'm absolutely certain. But on a practical note, I would say that we're most certain that given the temperature of the water there and the condition the boat has been, there wouldn't be any chance anymore, practically speaking. But a rescuer would never give up hope until he's absolutely certain of it. So they'll continue to look, hopefully, for even that one life that they can save.
How difficult is it for divers to try to negotiate their way through this vessel, which is now submerged, to try to find either the alive or the bodies of the dead?
Well, if you ask an average diver, he would say that he would not have done this very often, even if he's involved in salvage operations. There are far and few of these cases where a diver would have to negotiate through tricky alleyways in a upside-down vessel, particularly when they don't know the whereabouts of the people. They're doing their job to the best of their abilities. It's a challenge, I would say, because it's never easy to get in and out in the same way, given the restriction on the air bottles and umbilicals that they're carrying down.
So there has also been a lot of criticism about the response times in this rescue operation, right from the call about whether or not to abandon the ship to how long it's taken for authorities to actually carry out this search. Do you think the response times have been too slow?
Well, I'd say this is split in two ways. If you ask me about the on-board response for evacuation, I would be critical about that because I think that was quite a mess. But if you ask me how soon the helicopters came in and airlifts were done, I think that was done in reasonable time, frankly, and they did what they could. Unfortunately, the ferry went belly up, and that was actually what, if it could be avoided, it should have been avoided by onboard actions.
We know that the authorities in South Korea have already arrested the captain, and they're continuing to arrest several members of the crew, charging them with abandoning ship and failing to ensure the safety of the passengers. This order about whether or not to abandon the ship, the captain had initially said that he didn't want people in the water because the weather was bad and the currents were too strong.
Well, that was fair to say because at that point he wouldn't have imagined his vessel to capsize and go under. But there were quite a few reports on the command that he had given and them having left the vessel before he made sure all his crew and passengers were safe, because that is the duty of the master. That he might be unfortunately up for rough times. We have some idea about how the South Korean system works, and I'd have to say that they would probably go for the master.
All right, Captain Zarir Irani, thank you very much for joining us on the line from Dubai today.
Thank you very much for having us. Bye.